Hello, thank you so much for joining me. This is another edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. This is episode 16, and today's date is July 15th, 2017. Thank you so much. This is Solid D Assassin, of course, but my name is Troy West. I do these blogs. I've been doing it every week for the past few weeks. Even though the summer is sort of a slow time for sports. But still been a lot going on. Major League Baseball, they got their second half of the season. Started last night. A lot of some crazy games last night. I'll talk about a few of those. Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, what a week they had. Their world tour was crazy, entertaining. I'll talk about that in this episode. I'll touch on the NBA Summer League. Now it's sort of died down that, it's about I think it's about to end, I think, as well. Still things with Lonzo Ball, stuff like that. He pretty much made it more relevant than ever. But touch on a little bit about that. Free agency is slowed down, but I'll touch on that a little bit. Like I said, try to get some NFL in since we're really about 2 months away from it. Today I'll talk about the AFC West and NFC West. Touch on all 8 teams in each division, what I suspect them to do this season. And just now, like I said, I added a topic called My Final Thoughts. I touch on, give you an update on Venus Willams. She's playing right now for a title at Wimbledon. She was trailing last time I checked one set. The first set just ended, she lost that set 7-5. So now she has to win the second set to stay alive. But I'll give you an update and just touch on some things. And like I said, I get a little personal. Once again, I try not to get so personal, but just the days I'm dealing with, because this could be my last video for a couple of weeks. I don't know if I'm going to have my internet on. I touched on it before, didn't get the detail. I get a little bit of detail about it, but I'm going to try not to make it unsports blog and just be all about, things I'm dealing with. I just touch on it because, I want people to know who I am, sort of get a feel of who I am. So, but let's get started. Of course, the baseball season started last night. A lot of teams, like I said, a lot of surprises in the first half. Of course, the home runs are at an all-time high. Surprising teams, like I said, to me, it's been Minnesota, been a team that surprised me in the American League. Probably more disappointments are, the Orioles, which I'm my fan of. They've been a little bit disappointed. But like I said, still they pitching. Yankees starting to fall off, and they off to a fast start, which was surprising at first. Now then they got the expectation put on them, so like they slipped a little bit. They lost one of their pitchers, or at least he's going to get a second opinion. Michael Piana, their starter. He might have to have Tommy Johnson. That means he'll be out all the rest of this year and half of next year as well. So, but they say he's going to get a second opinion. Greg Bird, they up and coming first baseman, he got hurt again. I think he said now he's dealing with an ankle that he might have to have surgery on. So he's been a little bit injury prone. But still, like I said, American League is sort of still wide open. I think Houston is way above the rest, so give them some love. But other than that, everybody pretty much bunched up together. So we'll see what happens in the second half. The National League, like I said, I did a game on the Brewers. You can check that out. I've been doing a game every week on the Major League Baseball, MLB The Show 17. I would pick 2 teams from each league and put them against each other. Last week Wednesday, I did Minnesota and Milwaukee. Brewers has been a surprise. And I'm starting to believe in them now that they can win the division. It's the Cubs, even though the Cubs beat the Orioles last night. I still think there's some holes. There are a lot of holes, and they started pitching this bad. But we'll see. There's a traded deadline at the end of the month. Like, even though I just brought up the Yankees, I just say that they're looking to try to get Sonny Gray from Oakland. So, and those teams that be in contention, they're going to have they have pieces to move around so they can improve their team and make a push for the playoffs. So that's going to be interesting. Arizona Diamondbacks, another team that's been a little bit surprising to me, as they right there in the wild card. Colorado was as well, but they starting to come back to earth a little bit. And in the National League West, of course, is the Nationals. They just dominating. And they won their first game last night. Bryce Harper hit another 2 home runs. I still think he should win, well, might win MVP. Probably not the leader right now, but he's definitely among the top players in the National League. So we'll see how this baseball season turn out. We'll see. But the second half, I really don't. I'm one of the ones that say, well, let's wait, which still can happen. Like, other teams can rise, or teams that's ahead can fall. I mean, it happens more often than not. I mean, it's 162 games that you got to play through. But these teams that's in the contention right now, it's hard for me to see them falling completely off. So we'll see. Boston is playing a lot better as well, which I picked them to win the American League East in the first place. So, but they got off to sort of a slow start. Now they turned it on. The offense playing it better. Chris Sale has been unbelievable. I picked him for Cy Young, so I'm patting myself on the back right now. So some of the things that I predicted at the beginning of the season is forming up to I might be right about. But just want to say, just excited in the second half of the season. Mike Trout came back last night. Even though he struck out to end the game as the Angels lost, but it's good to see him back. He was my American League MVP. I think he missed too many games, so not sure if he'll win it now. But just a lot to look forward to in the baseball season. So that's it for now. Of course, I have some type of topic next week about baseball, because that'll be the only really thing going on, as everything else starting to really die off. Let's move on to boxing. Well, some people not call it boxing. At least it wasn't no boxing. It was like wrestling. The way Mayweather and McGregor talked to each other. I really loved it. I loved just them going back and forth at each other. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. I found it entertaining. Of course, I think Mayweather gonna win the fight. Like I said, I gotta really get in contact with my man Melvin. Somebody I used to work with. He's really into MMA and boxing, so I think I really respect his opinion. So I want to talk to him about it. Hopefully, I'll be able to get him on the blog, and we'll go back and forth and talk about it. I haven't talked to him. I just know that he's alright, because we do a fantasy football league every week. Every year, probably the last 2 years I've been involved in it. I won it last year, so he activated the league. So I think he's trying to get that set up, even though the football season is a while away. But as long as every day is good on my end, I expect to compete in that again. So I'm gonna contact him about that as well. So but it was crazy though. Things were said, the race was throughout there, racist, about especially more on McGregor's side. I don't see it as that. I honestly think I ain't gonna say they cool with each other like they buddies, but I think most of it was sort of choreographed in a way. Like, I know I was, as a black man, I wasn't really offended by some of the stuff McGregor said. Like when he said dance boy, a lot of people was offended by that. Then when he sort of seemed like he apologized, he sort of said he was half black from the waist down. Yeah, I guess like some people they had a problem with that because of stereotype of Then he did a little dance. I just enjoyed the whole 4 days. Mayweather, he said some snappy stuff too, but I just can't wait. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it makes me want to see the fight even more. I guess I fell into the trap, even though most people think it's not gonna be a fight. Most people are like, this is what I say. I think Mayweather win the fight, especially if it nobody gets knocked out. If the fight goes 12 rounds, he's gonna win. I think McGregor will have to knock him out, but I think he has a chance to knock him out. Like maybe a slim chance, but I think he has a chance. And I don't think Floyd gonna really, you know, well, he haven't done it in 20 years, knock somebody out. So I think it's gonna be, I think McGregor gonna make the fight more entertaining because I think he's gonna be very aggressive and come at Floyd. And I was one of the ones that say I ain't gonna buy this fight, but if I had the money at the time, I think I probably would buy the fight. But I just can't wait for it. 6 weeks away from today, actually. 6 weeks away, so like I said, I didn't have any problem with what McGregor said. I think it's all, like I said, I think it's more choreographed than that. Like I think, you know, they both kind of knew lines was where we crossed. They both are those type of people, so. And another reason why I think, you know, it's not that serious, because when McGregor rubbed Floyd on his head yesterday, that's like, to me, that's a sign of, I ain't gonna say it's a sign of disrespect. Cause my dad, I guess it's more like my dad used to do it to me. And I got the habit of doing it to, you know, little kids. When I hug them, you know, I rub their head. That's something my dad used to do. So I'm thinking it's like more, you know, like unless you, like basically if you're not that cool to me like that, I'm not gonna let you do that. Like I'll be a little bit disrespected by it. So it's like they I guess they just promoting the fight. That's how I took it. I don't think they care what they, you know, what we were saying back and forth. But it was entertaining. I loved it. I got a laugh out of it. So of course they fight on August 26th in Las Vegas. I think it's on Showtime pay-per-view. I think it's $99. I think how much it is for pay-per-view. So like I said, if I'm fortunate enough at the time, I will probably think about buying that fight, because I want to see it live. I prefer to see it live, but even if I wind up not seeing it live, I'm definitely want to watch the fight over, even though I probably, you know, you'll know what happened after that. So 6 weeks away, so can't wait for that. My third topic this week, the NBA Summer League, of course, mostly about Lonzo, of course, but Summer League been very entertaining. I've been watching games here and there. A lot of young players. It's always exciting to see a lot of young players come into the league. But of course, all eyes have been on Lonzo Ball once again because of the shoes he's been wearing. Of course, you know about the Big Brawler brand with him and his dad putting together. But I think he wore Nikes, Adidas. There's another shoe that he wore. No, it was James Harden's shoes. He wore some Nikes. LeBron came and watched him play that night. He wore Nikes. He wore 3 different types of shoes, and you know, people going back and forth about, well, you know, but he said in an interview, well, I'm sure how much freedom I got because basically I owe Big Brother rights. I can wear any shoes I want. So I guess he got a problem with how when players sign a big contracts, which is most of them is $2 million. I think James Harden got $2 million from Adidas. I think he basically said, you know, but in the contract you basically can't wear no other shoes. It's like, I guess he sort of took a little stand. I guess that's how I took it. Like, why I gotta always wear these shoes all the time? I should be able to wear them when I want. But other people saying, well, down they think Big Baller Brand not gonna do too well, so they try to like play, you know, try to get him his own shoe contract still. But I don't know, I look more of it as him saying is he think it's ridiculous that you can't wear other gear or other shoes. So, but yeah, like I said, that's something that's getting overblown in my opinion. But the funny thing is, the ironic thing is, in the Big Baller Brand shoes, he didn't play too well, especially from the field shooting the ball, but I think he scored the 36 when he had the Nikes on. Yeah, he ain't do too bad. And I think the last 2 games he wore the Adidas, he got triple doubles. So a lot of people joking, but it is what it is. Like, you know, I just wish him luck. Like I said before, I can't wait the NBA season go. It'll be probably one of the most anticipated seasons, just like last year. Now teams in the West are stacking up. Of course, I think I touched on it. Paul George, I think he got traded last Friday to Oklahoma City. So I think I did touch on it last week. That was a big move. So a lot of teams in the West are stacking up. Of course, you know about the Chris Paul trade to Houston. He got introduced yesterday officially. And they trying to get Carmelo Anthony. So NBA gonna be exciting. Of course, like it's too early to predict anything, but still, Warriors still the best team in the NBA to me, and it's not even close. So should be interesting. Like I said, I think he plays again today, so that people will be looking at Lonzo, see what shoes he got on. I need, like I said, I write notes down before I do these. I should have wrote those notes down. I know he wore Nikes, Adidas, and he wore another shoe. I just can't. It's not coming to me right now for some reason. So he wore 3 different brands. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, with him, with that story, the rest of the NBA. So, but I think the summer league ends soon, so I might try to fit in the NBA topic some other way, or something happens, you know, I'll talk about that. But now my fourth and pretty much final topic, the NFL. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get some NFL in every week to get ready for the regular season. That, of course, is 2 weeks away. Of course, training camp is next week, so I think preseason in about 2 weeks then. Of course, start with the Hall of Fame game. I think I looked that up last week, and I said I was gonna have that for you guys. I think it's the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys playing in the Hall of Fame game. So, and Dallas, like I said, I talked about them last week. Got a lot of stuff surrounding them. As far as with players get suspended, now they said Zeke might get 2 games for what he, you know, which I don't agree with. If he was found not guilty, you know, I don't think, maybe a fine at the most, but I don't think you should get suspended games for that. That's just my opinion. I mean, of course, none of us was there. We don't know what happened, and I understand how basically the league, basically paying for embarrassment, which I think is crap sometimes, you know. But hopefully, you don't get no games, but you know, we'll see with that. But the 2 divisions I'm gonna talk about this week, of course, I did the East in both conferences. Now I'm gonna do the West this week, so the AFC West and the NFC West. Touch on each team real quick. Of course, in the AFC West, I think it's one of the strongest divisions in football. With the emergence of the Oakland Raiders, Kansas City has been consistent since Andy Reid been there. San Diego Chargers, that's probably why I put my San Diego Chargers hat on. And I'm not, like I said, of course I'm in Baltimore, like I said, I'm a Ravens fan, but which is crazy. People think you're supposed to always wear Raven gear. I guess because I'm not a purple person. I don't wear a lot of purple, so I think that's the reason. But I have a Ravens hat. I'll probably put it on when I get to the North. Actually, next week, if I do my video last week, I'll be talking about the North divisions. But the West is pretty stacked. Kansas City, like I just brought up. The only thing is that jumped out about me, what they did is offseason, they traded up to get that quarterback from, I think he was from Texas Tech. So, I mean, don't know why they did that per se, but everybody said, well, they looking to move on from Alex Smith, which I don't fully blame them for, but Alex Smith, he wins. He might not jump at you with the stats and stuff, but he wins games. He's consistently in the playoffs. But, basically, they said this guy more of a risk taker to throw it down the field. I forgot his name. I should have wrote his name down. I think they picked 10th overall. They traded up 10th to get the guy, so he's going to be in the plans in some type of way. Kansas City, the defense is pretty stout with Eric Berry and Tom Ali and Houston, so they'll be a strong team in the division again. Denver Broncos. Like I said, stacked on the defensive side. Von Miller be back. Chris Harris, Akeem Talib, that strong defense, a strong leadership on the defensive side of the ball. And of course they got the playmakers, the Demarius Thomas, Manuel Sanders, but of course they big question is at quarterback. Who will be the starter for one? Would it be Paxton Lynch? Who quarterback for him last year started some games. Basically, they got two guys competing for the starting spot. That's really their biggest question about going into the year. But they're still going to be tough to beat with that defense. So it was 8-8 last year, despite the quarterback trouble. So the Oakland Raiders, of course, they touched on it a couple of weeks ago. They signed Derek Carr, to a monster contract, which I think was smart, locking him up. I'm just nervous. Like, I always get nervous about players that sort of get put up here too soon. I think it's somewhat too soon for Derek Carr, but I seen him. He got interviewed on Fox. I think I watched. I think it was might have been just yesterday. And I just like his poise, how he talks. He just seemed very sure of himself. Then his brother played in the league, was drafted #1 overall for the Houston Texans, David Carr, and he been in his ear, and he see how I don't want to go far and say he was a bust, but he never really lived up to expectations. And then Matt Schaub wound up coming in there, and that's where Houston started winning a little bit. He went to the Giants and sort of faded off after that, but he, sometimes having somebody that kind of went through it, period, even if you're not successful, it's still good for him. And Derek Carr definitely is a talent. I just hope. And then he coming off injury as well. So, of course, they made the playoffs last year. Of course, Kansas City won the division last year. But, Carr got hurt, I think, next to the last week of the season, broke his leg. But he's back. He's been practicing it all. They improved their defense a little bit in the draft. They got Marshawn Lynch, which is going to be a huge help to their running game. Their running game was sort of inconsistent with Murray behind there. So we'll see. That's a team definitely looking to take that next step. A lot of teams thinking they're second in the whole conference to the Patriots. And of course, the Patriots to me is hit above everybody right now. And of course, the San Diego Chargers. Like I said, I'm not a Chargers fan, but I'm a huge Phillip Rivers fan. Real big Phillip Rivers fan. That's why some people thinking, well, you must be a Chargers fan. My mentality, just to throw this out there real quick, there's only 3 teams I generally root for, and that's the Baltimore Ravens and 2 baseball teams, the Atlanta Braves, which I was an Atlanta Braves fan before anything, and a Baltimore Orioles fan. They're the 2 teams I genuinely root for. I don't really have an NBA team. Like I said, I like when the Wizards do well. They're sort of close. They're in DC, but they're still in DC. They're not here in Baltimore. So, I sort of used to follow the Mavericks because of one of my favorite players, Michael Finley, who used to play for them. He wound up getting the title in San Antonio later in his career. But I used to like Dallas because of that. But I was a huge fan of a basketball team, like really rooted for a team. I sort of root for underdogs in the NBA, like when Denver beat Seattle. That's been over 20 years ago when they was the 8th seed, Seattle was the 1st seed. Like, I root for stuff like that to happen, But they're the 3 teams that I root for. But with that being said, I do like the Chargers. Like I said, that's why I think this division will be strong, because Phillip Rivers, I want him on my team, period. Not even just as a quarterback, just to be on my team. He's confident. He don't quit. Despite how things going, he don't cheat you, man. He give you everything he got, and that's why I respect him. And I hope they do well for him and for his sake, because he's getting up there in age. He's probably looking at retirement and stuff soon. So just hope they do well. Melvin Gordon, he had a bounce back year. His rookie year was kind of slow, but he turned it on last year. He played well. I think he had over 12 touchdowns rushing. They got a lot of young players. Michael Floyd be back. They had some injuries last year. Keenan to be back. So it's like they got guys and they drafted a young wide receiver. So they're gonna be a team to be dealt with. And now they're in LA. So I said San Diego. So I apologize. I knew I was gonna be. I kept saying to myself, I knew I was gonna mess that up. So yeah, they did move to Los Angeles this year. So but the West will be very competitive. Should be one of the best divisions in all of football. As all 4 teams, wouldn't be surprised if any of them just break through and win. Let's move over to the NFC West. This shouldn't take too long because this division was one of the strongest, but I think this division is sort of falling off a little bit. Let's start with the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, they had a lot of off-the-field stuff, I guess I would say. Sherman, of course, they tried to trade him during the offseason. I think those guys, you know, like, I agree with some of what people say. I think they didn't get over that Super Bowl loss to New England. Russell Wilson, he's a great quarterback. I respect him. I think he's one of the elite quarterbacks in this league. But the offense is sort of inconsistent. The defense had its problems last year too, but still, they were still in the top 5 in pretty much everything. And I think another thing that's hurting them from afar is Marshall Lynch coming back, but not coming back to play with them. So all this stuff to watch. I think Seattle, just sort of by default, they still be in a race for this division, but I really don't see them going that far this year. I think probably sooner than later they probably break this team up somewhat, let some people go, but we'll see. The Arizona Cardinals, this is a team I think that's going to take a step back. Carson Palmer, I think he's pretty much done. That's just my opinion. I think he never got over that big playoff meltdown when he threw 5 interceptions to Carolina in the NFC Championship game. But I know it was sold on Carson Palmer. I thought he was a decent quarterback, don't get me wrong. He used to play for the Bengals, and I am a Ravens fan, so people probably say I'm biased a little bit, but I think just like I just brought up Derek Carr, I think he had that one good year. They made the playoffs. You know, he tore his knee up, and they lost. In another first round, they won a playoff game in like 20 years as an organization. Of course, we'll talk about the Bengals next week, but I think he got put up too high too soon. He really, to me, hasn't reached that level since he got hurt. He had a good year at Arizona, 3 good years at Arizona, but I think he's sort of. And I think he was talking about the retirement, so I think he's sort of half in. He had some concussions, so I think he's on his way out. And I think, and they don't have a decent backup, so. Their defense, David Johnson, gotta give him some love. The running back, he's to be one of the top 5. He would be, honestly, probably shouldn't say this, but if I do my fantasy league, he'd be somebody I look at for the draft number 1. Because he catch the ball in the backfield and he scored touchdowns and he run the ball well, so he'd probably be number 1 pick. Depending on how the draft is, or if I change my mind by then. But other than that, I don't see Arizona doing a lot this year. Let's move on to the LA Rams. Of course, they got a new coach. Second year in Los Angeles. Jared Goff, we'll see if he can turn the corner. Now he got a league. Now he got a year under his belt in the league, so we'll see about that. Defense is stout. Robert Quinn, that defensive line, that's pretty stacked. Defense overall pretty good, but I don't see how they gonna score. Probably another 6 or 10 type year. Like I said, I get deeper into it. I'm gonna have a big preview show. Near the beginning of the season. So, and so let's leave one team left in the West. The San Francisco 49ers. Sort of in rebuild mode now. Of course, Kyle Shanahan, their coach. Who was their quarterback? I don't even know who they drafted. Colin Kaepernick still unsigned, by the way. He's gone. Blaine Gabber's gone. So I don't even know who's there at quarterback. They lost a lot of guys. They pretty much rebuilding. But a lot of experts say they had a good draft. So, and I think he got that 5-year contract. So I think ownership expected a couple of down years for the Niners, but we'll see. You know, you never know in the NFL sometimes, but this division definitely ain't one of the strongest anymore. I think Seattle will win this division by default, pretty much, because there's nobody else out there to challenge them. I don't see the Rams being better than they were last year that much. I see Arizona sort of even stepping back even more. They made the playoffs last year. And it probably part of it because Carson Palmer was hurt, but I think now he's sort of halfway out the door mentally, and I think that's going to affect him, his play on the field. I think if they do anything, it's going to be David Johnson carrying him, and then the defense holding up the end. And 49ers just rebuilding, so don't see them competing that much. That do it for my NFL talk this week, and getting close towards the end of the blog. Like I said, I call this part my final thoughts. I always sort of just throw other stuff out there. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to be, if I'm going to be on next week. I'm going to get into that in a second. But let's check over Venus, see what she's doing now. Just going to see, possibly could be over. Hopefully she came back. She was lost the first set. And it is official. Venus did not win. She lost. I think I'm going to pronounce this right. Garbine Marzosa, who she played in the finals today. She won the first set 7-5, and then she won the second set 6-love. So after Venus lost that first set, she pretty much dominated the second set by winning all games. So, and I was rooting for Venus. You know some of the stuff that been going on with her. But just to touch on that, tomorrow is the men's final with Roger Federer in it. Like, really, since the turn of the century, there's only been 4 players that have been dominating on both the women's and the men's side. It's been Venus and Serena on the women's side, and Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Like, I mean, I don't follow tennis. Actually, I'm going to tell a quick story of what I really became a Serena fan. Because I think she's the best tennis player, period, ever. No gender, no matter if you're a woman, man, whatever. She's the best tennis player I've ever seen. One day, I think I was about 18 years old. I was really sick, laying in the bed. I think it was around U.S. Open time, so it was probably like late summer. I think U.S. Open is like late August, I believe, or around that time. Or early September, or something like that. And I watched Venus too. But back then, in the early going, Venus was the more dominant. Because Venus is a little bit older, so, which is remarkable that she even got to the final, this year. So I kind of feel sad that she didn't win, but it's still remarkable that she made it there. And she was the more dominant sister at first, but then Serena just came on, turned it on. They went through tragedy. One of their sisters got murdered. There was questions about is they really into it, because I think Serena was doing a fashion line or something during her career, and she sort of was half-ish. She wasn't winning, so that got into question. But then she just, once she turned 30, just started dominating again. I mean, it's remarkable. Of course, tied for the most Grand Slams ever. To me, she's just remarkable. Their whole story is remarkable. And it's just sad that people don't recognize that more. But I always be a fan of hers. I wish her luck for her pregnancy. She was on ESPN and got interviewed. But still, congratulations to Serena and her opponent that won. Roger will be up tomorrow. I mean, a lot of people think he's going to finish it off and win tomorrow morning. Hopefully so. But Venus did not win. She finished second, but still a remarkable feat for her. And I'm just gonna get a little personal real quick. I'm not gonna try to get deep into it, but well, you could go back and look at episode 12 when in fact, let me look at it up again just to be sure if I put that out there. But I'm not going to get into everyday personal What the heck? Got this crazy app on my phone. There we go. Just gonna look at my YouTube channel real quick because I don't want to get out the wrong episode. But I think it's episode 12, I believe. But anyway, I can still talk while I'm looking this up. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be on next week, mainly because my internet service might be cut off. Yes, it is episode 12. Of course, this is episode 16. So this was about a month ago. Basically, I went on there and talked about my depression. I've been dealing with depression, been dealing with it. Had a little setback this week. Sort of got into the depressed mode. Yesterday, I pretty much, for example, just laid around all day. Was sick. Like I said, I had some alcohol. You know, to be honest, I just drunk a lot and just was angry and just started thinking, you know, just all my negative thoughts start coming in my head. And like I said, I just feel sometimes that I'm not, that pretty much no one cares. And it might not be fair because I have people in my life that sticks by me and I feel like they care, but it's like, I talked to one of my close friends yesterday, man, Don Juan. If y'all know, watch my videos, y'all know who he is, one of my closest friends. And I mean, somebody said it was right, you can't make people, you know, can't expect certain things from people, you just can't, which is true. You know, I always compare to what I would do or how I would act, but you just can't. But like I said, I'm not gonna get deep into that. Like I said, if you want to really, you know, hear about that, like I said, go to episode 12, and about midway through the video, I talk about sports first, but then I broke the video into another half, basically, where I talk about me and my depression and what I dealt with, how I lost my job. I haven't worked in now, it's been over 2 months now. You know, I mean, I did get some good news this week. I mean, I got benefits I got coming in, but like I said, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be in this apartment. I might lose that. But I try to let you guys know, you know, if I'll be on next week or not. I know by Tuesday or Wednesday, basically, if I'll be on. So just look at my other videos. Like I said, you can check out my channel. I have a lot of other projects, video game projects and stuff. Check that out. Crash is the main project I'm doing right now. Crash. It says I'm gonna be on live. I say about noon. It's about 10:45 right now. I'm gonna get off, wrap this video up, get something to eat, you know, then get back on live. As I try to get the gyms. But just want to say, as always, thanks for the support. Like I said, if I'm on next week, like I said, I'll try to talk more baseball. NFL talk will go to the North, so I do the AFC and NFC North, touch on those teams next week. If anything else happened during the week, I'll touch on that. Just want to say thanks as always. Like I said, just check out my channel. Like I said, feel free if you want to subscribe. And I guess, like I said, I'm not the person that's trying to sell or undercut anyone, which I brought up last week. There's a lot of people on YouTube, they want to blow up, but they want to keep you down. Another shout out to my man Pet Nut. I just met him this week. He play a lot of Crash videos, but check out his channel, capital PETNUT. Been putting him out there because he's been very genuine about everything, so I appreciate him. Just want to say thanks once again. Wrap this video up. I think I've been on for about almost 40 minutes, which is, I was trying to keep it under a half hour, but thanks so much. Of course, channel is Silent Assassin, but my name is Troy West. Thanks as always. Thanks for everybody that does support me. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Check out, just keep updated. I'll keep y'all updated what's going on. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and see you in about an hour. I'll be on live doing some more Crash Bandicoot. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Appreciate it. Thank you.